people can come and feel safe and feel like, oh, like there's a cool, you like what I like, and this is good, and I feel like we have a low key enough environment that nobody feels like they don't belong, which makes me really, really happy. So thank you everybody for being a part of that and making that happen. It means a lot to me, more than you know. And if I get all sappy, it's like, it's hard for me to contain that if I talk about it too much. So anyway, we are in a new month. We're in the month of intuition. And this is a really interesting topic. This is when we think about tapping into our intuition, it's like, there's a lot of little cliches that we can say about that. Like you get a gut feeling about that. So we attune people to be Reiki practitioners here. And as we kind of explain, I try to explain everything in like a third grade perspective, because I feel like that's just kinder. It's kinder to my brain. It's kinder to everybody. Nobody then feels like you're trying to talk over them. I don't try to, spiritually blow people away with things. And, I don't believe in doing that. So I really try to water everything down to like a third grade level so that it's attainable and everybody feels like, oh yeah, I can get behind that. That makes sense to me. And so in these 3 lower chakras, it's really interesting because you have the first one that starts at the tip of your tailbone, and it develops between the ages of 0 to 6 months. And it has everything to do with safety. Like, am I safe? Do I feel safe? Do I have my needs met? So you think about that, right? If you're a brand new infant, you're really vulnerable, and you need to make sure that like food and shelter and protection are completely taken care of. So that's why I had read a study once many years ago about children in, I think it was Romania. They have a lot of kids in orphanages and like infants in orphanages there, because people will just drop their kids there. And because they're not held and because they're not nurtured properly, the 2 hemispheres of their brain don't come together properly. And because they're not nurtured the way that they need to be nurtured. And so so that root chakra is like the development of like all of my needs are okay. If I cry, I get breastfed or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like something happens, and because they don't know that they're not the universe. Like they don't understand that. And so it's the mother and the child are one, right? It's like I make a noise, I eat, right? I make a mess, somebody takes care of it. Like it's just all those things are happening on a regular basis for them. And when that's happening, that root chakra will develop, okay. It will be like, okay, yeah, as long as they're not being raised in a home with duress and things like that. So then we have the next chakra that goes up from there, and that is at the sacrum. So you have to think of these energy centers in front of the spinal column, not on the spinal column, inside the body, right in front of the spinal column. And so then with that is developing between the ages of 6 months and 2.5 years of age. So, and that has everything to do with like their creativity, their family value systems and relations, their sexuality. All of these things are being developed in those early stages. So now the third chakra is really important because this is where we're headed with this theme for this month, and it's in the area of around your solar plexus. And we go back again at the level of the spine. And so there's a ton of neurons in this area. This develops between the ages of 2.5 and 4.5 years of age. So when you think about kids, they start going through what's called the terrible twos at that stage, right? And it's because there's like a huge level of individuation that's going on. And they're starting to learn that they can trust their perspective on things. That's why it's like they start to become like little people, and you'll see that. You're like, oh, you're like a little person. You actually have little opinions and little ideas, like you know what you want and what you don't want, And so they're really starting to develop that sense of self and being in that regard. So really important stage of development. Now, this is what's interesting. If that child is around a lot of trauma, okay, we have like copious amounts of trauma. They're screaming, yelling, hitting, abandonment, all these things. That kid is going to become extra hypervigilant, extra hypervigilant, which then shows up as they get older, like, oh my gosh, this is really an intuitive person. They're just really hypervigilant, okay? And they know how to read a room. They know how to, like, can read people real well, okay? And so, and I came from one of those homes, right? So I have some sort of bizarre sixth sense sometimes, right? But it comes from, like, knowing, like, oh, you know, crap's getting real. And like we duck and cover. I can tell the way that that car door closed, whether or not the person's angry. Do you know what I'm saying? So like all of those things. So that goes along with what I had said earlier today in Yoga Nidra, which is that what they've realized is that intuition is stored down memories, really deep stored down memories that are held in your cells, that then you come into another situation and there's something familiar about it. And then you just know instantly, okay? So it turns into a superpower. So you look at it like that. It turns into a superpower, which is kind of cool. So if you grew up in a really pleasant, happy home and there was no problems and everything was great, does that mean that you're not going to be intuitive? No. Does it mean that people that were raised in environments like that are extra, like, how do I say this? Like, it's not like a spiritual gift, it's just a trauma response. No, it doesn't necessarily mean that either, okay? But, you know, just kind of thinking about this, all right? So it's kind of it's an interesting thing. So how do we tap into something and trust it? Now that's the next part. So that's what this whole month is about. This month is about, like, everybody has intuition. Everybody does. Everybody has an intuitive sense. Everybody does. But it's whether or not we trust it. Do we trust it? Do I feel like I can validate my own feeling when I get that gut feeling? Or am I still having to look outside to somebody else to let me know whether or not I'm correct? Do you know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's nice. I mean, I still look for situations where I can be like, oh, okay, phew, all right, somebody else agreed with me on that, and that feels good, and I actually respect that person, and I value their opinion, so yeah, now I can get behind that, right? But then I was talking to a friend recently about a situation that was like, this person had an inner knowing of something, but then they weirdly got kind of like gaslit out of their inner knowing, right? And that happens too. So that's what we're talking about this month, is like, you got to trust you. You got to trust your gut. And so that's what our meditations are going to be about all month long. So again, by the end of the month, no money back guarantees on this, but we're all going to be super intuitive beings. Who has never been here? Just Jack. Oh, well, welcome. What's your name? Kay. Nice to meet you. Okay, so everybody else though, you guys, you're good. Are you a meditator, Kay?
This is my first time ever.
Whoa, I'm super honored. Thank you for coming. That's awesome. Okay, don't get caught up on details. And don't be intimidated by how enlightened the whole rest of the room is, okay? Okay. Just a little bit. You'll notice Pete, it'll be like a little bit up and then it goes back down again. So, okay. So, Quentin, can you shut off the back and turn down the front? See how that works for Paige in the back. Is that okay? Okay. And then, perfect. Okay. Okie dokie, artichokes. Wait, I gotta clear my throat. I don't know where to cough. Okay, sorry, whoever heard that. Okay, everybody. So we're all gonna sit up nice and tall and close our eyes. So just in way of proper setup, and we're going to do this for Kay since this is her first time meditating with us, and for anybody else that's online that has not meditated before. When we have proper setup with our body, we want to make sure that we're nice and tall in our posture, but it shouldn't be uncomfortable. I like to think of the crown of your head being pulled up like a marionette, that it just like draws up. And then if you think of it that way, your chin will naturally tuck in a little bit. And then imagining that your spinal column kind of rolls down like a string of pearls all the way down to your tailbone. And then if you just gently, put your sits bones into your seat, and then you should be properly set up and your shoulders should be back. You can have palms face up. You can do chin mudra with your palms or with your hands if you want to, which is just index finger and thumb barely touching, or palms face down, whatever feels right to you. It's still pretty hot in here, but if you're cold, it's good to bring your hands cupping one under the other and then pulling them in close to your lap. That kind of keeps your body warm, but it is hot, so whatever feels better. I like some airflow. Eyes are lightly closed. No pinching shut, no slamming them shut. It's good to do a little check with your jaw and wiggle your jaw a little bit and make sure that that's not tight. Tongue is loose within the mouth. And sometimes it's nice to just turn the corners of your mouth up a little bit. My throat's gurgling into the microphone and I'm feeling uncomfortable about that, so I apologize. So bringing your attention to the breath, we've been working on this in stages the last few months. So just the breath being your companion again. It's almost like you're inviting the breath in to this space with you. And as you are in the presence of having that companion breath with you, allowing yourself to reacquaint yourself with the inhales, the texture of it, the exhales, the temperature. Your expansion of your chest and your diaphragm. It's good to bring your gaze point up to your third eye if you can, with your eyes closed, of course. Swim tight. You're fine. So really, really just being with your breath for a little bit longer here. Sometimes it's helpful to say in and out, or sat, nam if you're familiar with Kundalini. So now as we're in this space, really drawing further attention now to that third eye. There There's a seat of intuition in the third eye. And this isn't about forcing anything to happen. It's about being with your imaginary gaze point at your third eye. Now, from that imaginary gaze point, I want you to now draw a new imaginary gaze point to the inside of the crown of your head. If you could bring all of your focus and all of your attention to the inside of the crown of your head. Now we're going to bring our attention to the back of our skull. There's a chakra point there called the Bindu, and I want you to just bring all of your focus and all of your attention to that spot at the back of your skull. And in this detailed, focused attention, allow yourself to even feel sensation with each of these and be in witness of those sensations that you feel within each of these focused points. Drop your focus down now to your throat. Being inside the throat. Just your focus, just your attention as if it is the most important thing. Drop down to your heart center, putting your intention in the chest cavity at the front inside of your spine. It's right behind your heart. And over to the right a little bit. And now drop down to the upper part of your abdomen. On the inside of your body. And just hold all of your focus and attention there. And then just gently repeat in your mind for the next few minutes, I trust my truth, with your focus in that area. I trust my truth. I trust my truth. And bring your focus down now to the area of your sacrum. And finally down to the area of your perineum. And as you have your focus there, just for the next few minutes, just I am safe. I am safe. I am safe. Bringing your attention back to your breath. Take note of how your energy feels within your body as you continue to increase your inhales and your exhales. And you can start to bring a little bit of movement back into your body, but let your eyes be the last thing to open. Okay, so we're all turned on. So that's week 1. So focus on that this week, okay? Really do. It's like, so the chakra system, one system explains it this way, okay? So we think of it going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay? But there's another system that talks about, like, because you have these 2 channels, you have the Ida and the Pingala, and the energy kind of crisscrosses through each one of these chakra points, but it actually starts at your nose. And it goes in like this, and then crisscrosses here, and then crisscrosses again here. Then there's one back here at the back of your skull, and that's the one that I was talking about. And then it goes down to your throat, and then behind your heart, and then at your solar plexus and down. And they just keep on doing this crisscross all the way through. And so those are the knots. That's why you take Lady Naguma. Do a plug for Lady Naguma. We were not going to be here this week, so but we have a sub, and she's great. So please, if you remember, take the class, or just wait until we come back, and Quentin will take you to Naguma next level. It's like the best. But the practice is really important because it's about undoing the knots that get the energy trapped, so that you can't, your channels, the sushumna, the central channel line, isn't functioning properly, and then we don't have the energy flowing, and so we get blocked and stopped and blocked and stopped, and things aren't moving and cruising properly. So this meditation, it makes it so that you can open that, so that you can start to eventually go, oh, I am feeling that. Whew, I do. Oh, I trust that. Whew, that feels right to me. I feel like a lot of people have a lot of questions in life, and I know I do sometimes. And if you can clear all of the debris out, you can actually start making better choices and clearer decisions on things. And that's what this month is about. Okay. That's on Sundays, and it's at 5 o'clock. It's a great class. It's the best. Yeah, it's the best. I mean, all of our classes are really amazing. But what I love about Naguma, so I was thinking about this the other day, and I really thanked Quint for this. I learned Naguma when my stepmother took me to this Geshe-la, and he found these texts, and it's over 1,000-year-old practice, and in some archives, I think in Russia, right, Quint? Yeah. And so, because you have to think, like, there was Mao, right, when he took over everything, and all of these things were destroyed, and a lot of, and then when the Russians were kind of coming in, like, cleaning house and taking little things that they wanted, then some of the things got, like, locked away, and so there's been a real tireless effort to try to get as much of these documents, like, kind of translated and brought back into the world instead of them just being left away. And so this practice, this Lady Naguma practice, was one of the things that was found. And so it's the first recorded practice that was developed by a woman over 1,000 years ago. And so it starts with everything on the left hand or the left side, because it is working with the feminine energy, but it is great for everybody because we are all of that, right? And so if the feminine can get like balanced instead of being catty or overly emotional or too nurturing, things like that, and then balance out some of the anger, frustration, and hostility that we have on the right, then I mean, it's such a good practice. Yeah. So I can't say enough about it. It's not like a flow class, so you're not going to be, but it's also not quite like an Iyengar class where it's more instructional, but it is, we stretch, twist, stretch, and tap out each one of the chakras, so you're like breaking up the energy, so you're just like super clear. So by the end of the class, you're like, yeah, I feel good, you know. But not like in Kundalini where you're like, yeah, I feel so good. That's like next level feel good. But this is just like clear and fresh and alert. So it's wonderful. Okay, I think that's everything. I will see you guys next week. There is next Friday. No, wait, it's this Friday, yeah? So this Friday is Goddess Circle, and that is at 6:30, I think. It's 7 o'clock, and it goes until, is it 9? Okay, and so Amanda Sanchez is doing that, and she does a great job. So 7 to 9 this Friday, and it's the Lionsgate portal, so she's going to be doing all kinds of manifestation stuff. So if you're down for like creating a whole new universe for yourself, that would be the place to do it. Then there's kids yoga on Saturday, this coming Saturday. So get your kids signed up for that. And then on that evening, we have Reiki share in between there. And then that evening, Nancy's doing a full moon sound bath. So get signed up for that, because those fill up really, really fast. So okie dokie, artichokes. Oh, last and very important. If you are interested in what it means to be a Reiki practitioner, and that's something that you want to do, this is, so ZenLife is a community with a community, and another community within the community, and another community within the community. So there's like you guys, you'd be like the meditation community. And then there's like the yoga community. And then there's the Reiki community. And so, and everybody's like, I mean, Rob's in all three communities, like, and, you know, so is Jason. Like, it's like, you're just keep getting on. But then there's the hiking community and the book club and so, but becoming a Reiki practitioner is such a beautiful, beautiful thing to be able to do, and to be able to learn how to facilitate energy, to be able to help yourself and to help other people with that, opening up those chakras in your hands so that you can like move the energy around. It's really, really cool. All right, see ya. See you next week. Bye-bye. Thank you.